Hello and welcome to Dice and Demons. I'm Emma and today I want to talk about my first impressions of Kill Team. So yesterday I went to my friendly local game store where they had a new campaign for Kill Team. I've never played Kill Team before. I've known that it existed of course and I've seen people play it, but I've never really had a lot of interest in playing it myself. I don't really know why, I just always thought it was perhaps sort of 40k light. And I just thought, well, why play the light version if you can play the full game? But now they started a new campaign and I thought I wanted to support that and see what it was all about, because I've heard a lot of people who really like Kill Team, so I thought, well, why not give it a go? So last night I went to my friendly local game store with my new Kill Team, the Bubblegum Boys Brigade, my orcs, to see what all the hype was about. We were 12 people who were going to be playing, and some were very experienced and some, like me, had never played a game of Kill Team before. The overall campaign has a bigger focus on the narrative aspect than the competitive aspect, which I kind of like, especially for something like a small game of Kill Team where it's a big campaign. I think it makes a lot of sense to go in the narrative direction. We were 12 people who were participating in the campaign total, and then it was sort of randomized who we were going to be playing against. I was going to be playing against 3 other players, so a 4-player game. I think for my first ever game of Kill Team I would probably have preferred only to have a one-on-one game, but it worked out pretty well, I think. It wasn't too overwhelming. I think the rules are relatively simple to learn, especially if you've been playing some sort of tabletop war game before. You know about the movement phase and the combat phase and the shooting phase and such. It wasn't that different. The only thing that was really different to me was actually the way the activation went, that you had your entire movement phase, but then you were sort of switching between each player as you went along. And I think that kept the game engaging all the way through. You didn't have to sit for too long waiting to do anything at all. And sometimes playing a game of 40k against a Tau army, for instance, means a lot of waiting while they do all their shooting. Which is fine, it's as it should be, and I don't hate on Tau as many people do. But still, I think this made it a bit more engaging and meant that you always had something to do or were considering what your next move was going to be. So we had a lot of fun. The mission was about killing the other team's leaders. My leader was an orc boy. I had named him Ip. And on his back he was carrying sort of a backpack with a grot who was called Ferdinand. I spent the majority of the afternoon yesterday with a friend. We were supposed to be painting all our models, and we just ended up coming up with silly names for my Kill Team. Originally I had thought that it was a bit, not a waste of time, but a bit pointless really to come up with names for a Kill Team. I mean, they're just models you're playing with, they're just gaming pieces. Why come up with a name? But that was a requirement for the campaign, that you came with the Kill Team that had names. So we spent a lot of time coming up with names, and after the first, I don't know, 2 seconds or something like that, we had so much fun. We were laughing and laughing and laughing because, I mean, it's an orc Kill Team, it's supposed to be silly. They're called the Bubblegum Boys Brigade anyway, so there's nothing serious about them. So we had so much fun coming up with silly names. So Ibn Ferdinand was my leader. And the whole point of the game was trying to make sure that your leader wasn't shot off the board. So my orc leader spent the majority of the game hiding in a corner. And we were all having a bit of a laugh about how he was not a very typical orc and how he was a cowardly leader and how it fit very well with the fact that I had rolled a 1 for the morale resource at the beginning of the campaign. Of course the orcs were not very brave when they had a leader who was just hiding in the corner while leaving it up to the rest of the team to actually go do the work. So that was fun. So after the game ended at turn 3, 2 teams had lost their leader, and I had, my leader only had a flesh wound, but I had to go home because it was getting late. So another person, the Eldari player, won the game. And then after that we had to roll a d10 to see if the models who had been injured or had been killed, if they were going to be like dead and not available for the campaign, for the rest of the campaign, or if they were just sort of wounded and would be able to return later on. On a roll of 1 your model would just die and not be available anymore. On a 2 they would be gravely wounded and not available for the next game, and so on. And everyone rolled nice safe rolls from 2 to 10. And all was well. Then I was going to be rolling for Ib and Ferdinand because they had a flesh wound. And I of course rolled a 1. So after my very first game and my very first Kill Team campaign, my orc leader, whom I had just painted for this exact campaign, was dead. Like, irrevocably dead. He can't participate anymore in this campaign. And we were just falling off our chairs laughing because it was so silly. We had this cowardly orc who'd spent all game hiding in a corner with a grot on his back and not doing anything. He had not even fired a single shot or tried to do any sort of thing in melee or anything. He had just been running away. And now he was dead. And I can't use him anymore, so I have to come up with a new leader for the Bubblegum Boys. And then said, well, I mean, I only think it's Ib, the orc, who's dead. I don't think Ferdinand on his back was hurt. I think he's just fine. And so it immediately turned into a whole sort of a story about how Ib was not actually that gravely wounded, but how Ferdinand on his back had stuck a knife in his back and killed him because he wanted to be the leader. So for my next game of Kill Team, I'll have a brand new leader, and that will be my pink grot Ferdinand. And I'll be using the Macari model from Saga of the Beast because he is supposed to be the luckiest grot alive anyway. And I think Ferdinand can carry that title very well. I had never imagined I would like Kill Team nearly as much as I did. But it was just so much fun, and I really like the narrative aspect of it. I've never played actually anything very narrative before. But just having names for your models and coming up with a story. So now every time I'm going to be playing a game, whether it's another Kill Team game outside of this campaign or a regular game of 40k, if I look at Ib and Ferdinand, I'll know, oh my god, he is just useless. He is the most cowardly orc available to my entire army. But I would also look at my orc, another orc boy who's got a power claw, and I know that she was just the most badass in the whole Kill Team because she just wiped out a town model in a single stroke with her power claw. Yeah, I gave some of the orc boys, I gave them female names, and some of them I gave male names. I figure that boy is more like a gender neutral title more than it's a description of what gender they actually are. So some of them have male names, some of them have female names, and my orc with the power claw is named Ilse, a very old Danish woman's name, so that's also fun, but probably mostly if you are Danish. So this was my first impression of Kill Team, and I'm looking so much forward to playing again. One of the people I played against yesterday, who's also running the Kill Team campaign at the friendly local game store, said that he would like to do a battle report for Kill Team for this channel. So if that's something you are interested in seeing, I hope you will write that in the comment section below, and when I'm a little bit better acquainted with the rules, we might go in that direction. I don't think you should do a battle report for your second or third game. I think I need to play just a bit more, just, you know, to make sure I don't make perhaps 100 mistakes in a battle report, but perhaps only 5 or 10. Who knows? So, what are your impressions of Kill Team? Do you like it? Have you been playing it a lot? Have you never played before? Are you just getting into the hobby? What do you think about Kill Team? I had a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to playing some more. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!